I hope you ain't tired already. Well, one of the things recently, last fall, myself and another fellow founded a group called the Union of Patriots. I'm acquainted with Christy. She's been a fair tax supporter for some time, and likewise I have been. I spent most of the last 10 years advocating for the fair tax. On June 22nd, over in Johnson County, we had a Rhino retirement dinner honoring John Brattle, Tim Owens, and Terry Huntington. These folks are claiming to be Republicans, but we know for certain that they have a consistent behavior pattern of voting more liberally than does the average Democrat. Now we think that that's virtually dishonest, and we'd kind of like to see them just take an early retirement and go on home and let somebody come in that'll vote like a Republican ought to, something that is for smaller government and reducing costs. And just so you'll know what kind of activities the Union of Patriots gets involved in, something that we're about to launch here in the state of Missouri. We only operate in 2 states now. We're not very big. We're less than a year old. But we, last fall, just before we became an entity, which was November 19th, a lady named Lana came and talked with me about a thing being practiced in Kansas and 48 states. The only 2 states who don't practice this are Nebraska and Massachusetts. It's a thing called Proration, designed by the USDA, which dictates how it is that the SRS, or whatever it's called in a given state, that's Social Rehabilitative Services, how they interact and how they appropriate funds to both regular citizens and illegals. This practice is just outright evil. This lady came to talk to me, and she talked to me for about 2 hours about the most bizarre activities of government I'd ever heard of, and frankly, I wasn't inclined to believe it. I thought, lady, maybe you'd better tune in that aluminum hat. It was really bizarre. So I finally told her, I said, well, now listen, if you want me to go talk about this, I'm going to have to see concrete, irrefutable proof that what you're telling me is correct. Well, this poor lady turned white as a sheet. She said, geezer, you just don't understand what you're asking. She said, maybe I was the union steward, so I had a right to the information I have in my possession until I resigned from the union, which I did a couple of weeks ago. It may be a misdemeanor for me to have this still in my possession right now. But if I show it to you, that is the commission of an outright felony. And I said, good. Guess what? When you show me that information, then I will be a party to a conspiracy to commit a felony. And if what you're telling me is true, and we call it to the attention of the folks in the state of Kansas or anywhere else in this country, it's my belief that anybody choosing to prosecute us as a result of it is going to have one darn tough time finding 12 Americans who will sit in a jury and choose to incarcerate us for having called it to their attention. Now, what does Proration do? It gives preferential treatment, not equal treatment, preferential treatment to people who do not have a legal right to be here. Wow. For instance, if you have a family of 4 ordinary Kansas or Missouri citizens, 2 parents, 2 children, we're all legitimate citizens, all born here. In the state of Kansas, the number is $2,790. They are ineligible for any benefits from SRS whatsoever, period. That's it. If you make that much gross income, you're not eligible. However, in both states, except as of Friday, Kansas became the first state to reject this practice. And what happens is, if another family comes in with 2 illegal parents and 2 legal children, or even 1, it doesn't matter, but their parents are illegal and there's only a couple of children, and they declare their income at $2,790, they get full benefits from the SRS. This is dictated by participation in Proration, which Missouri does do. Myself with Senator Brian Nieves, and I hope to engage Senator Chuck Ferguson. We are about to launch an effort to put a stop to that foolishness here. Effective Friday, by the actions taken as a result of Union of Patriots and this lady who was put herself at considerable risk to do it, we will be saving the state of Kansas with only about 1/3 of the problem fixed. It's going to require legislation to fix the whole problem. We will be saving something on the order of $500,000 a day. Brian Nieves from your Missouri Senate 26 suggests that he thinks it's costing the state of Missouri nearly twice as much as it was costing Kansas, largely because of your population. This is your money being taken from you and given to people who do not have even a legal right to be here. I don't know about y'all, but that kind of brings the old fight out in the geezer. I don't think much of that, and I believe it's time to put a stop to it everywhere. We've had some encouragement from some big organizations to try and take this message to Maryland, Florida, Texas, Missouri, and Illinois. God willing, we'll come up with the funds. We would encourage everyone to go to unionofpatriots.com. What we hope to do, we're asking for a $10 a month membership fee. If we can get it, we will be primarily engaged in getting people elected who are willing to aggressively advocate for the things that we hold dear. It doesn't make any difference. We can do all the demonstrations in the world. If we don't have people in that legislative body who will stand up, declare their position, and then defend it aggressively among their peers, we have no hope of success. Folks, that's all I got to say to you today, but God bless you for being here, and Christy, thank you so much for the opportunity.